course of the first season, we definitely got to know all of the members of the Umbrella Academy pretty well. Well, except for Ben, but he's dead, so that's kind of understandable. But do you know who we don't know a ton about? The adoptive father of the Hargreaves children, Sir Reginald Hargreaves himself. That being said, the second season looks to be giving us a bit more about the patriarch of the Hargreaves family. So in this video, we're going to take a look at what it is that we do know about the guy and where he might be going in the not too distant future. So sit back, release some sparkly lights from a mason jar, and let's dive right into it. Okay, so let's start this video off by taking a look at what we have seen from Sir Reginald Hargreaves on the actual show. Then we'll do some brief analysis of the comic version of the character, and finally bring it all home by taking a look at what we might be able to expect from his appearance in the upcoming second season. Cool? Cool. So as we saw during the 10th episode of the first season, Hargreaves has been around for a long time. A near impossibly long time, actually, as we see him walking around sometime during the 19th century. You know, ye olden days, as it were. He wound up purchasing a company that produced umbrellas, and over the years he managed to leverage this business to amass a rather sizable fortune. Then, on that one fateful night back in 1989, when those 43 women mysteriously gave birth all at the same time, Hargreaves swooped in and managed to adopt 7 of them, which he raised as the Umbrella Academy. All of this was in hopes of preparing a team of superpowered individuals for a future apocalypse that he somehow knew was coming. However, as the members got older, they all went their own separate ways, splintering the would-be super team, which, I mean, you can't really blame them, considering that their childhood wasn't exactly the best, and Hargreaves wasn't what one would call a good dad. He definitely never got one of those #1 dad coffee mugs, that's for sure. Well, maybe Luther gave him one. With the date of the apocalyptic event drawing ever closer, Hargreaves orchestrated a plan to bring his wayward children together once again. A plan that called for him to bring an end to his own life. As we saw, this plan kind of worked. The kids did indeed get back together, though they didn't do the best job of stopping the apocalypse. Now, this does leave us with a few questions about the guy. Mainly, how did he manage to live so long? And how did he know about the coming catastrophe? Well, the comics do give us a little bit of an answer, and it is certainly a doozy. Basically, Hargreaves was an alien. Yeah, a flippin' extraterrestrial disguised as an old dude with a rather sweet mustache. Now, we aren't completely sure that this is the case in the show, but that scene at the beginning of the 10th episode, where we see him speaking with a mysterious woman, followed by him releasing some odd glowing particles into the air, definitely gives off an otherworldly feeling. So that might just be our biggest hint at his alien origins. And maybe, just maybe, Season 2 will give us a better look at this part of the character. Speaking of Season 2, we don't know a ton about Hargreaves' role in the show moving forward. But considering that the second season is taking the show back in time, specifically to the 1960s, he is definitely still kicking around somewhere. So he is more than likely going to play a big part in the events of that season. The season seems to be based, at least in part, off of the Dallas comic arc, which saw the Hargreaves children sent back to 1963, where they had to make sure that the assassination of President John F. Kennedy went off just the way that it did historically, all in an effort to yet again stop an apocalypse. This one being due to nuclear war brought about by a meeting between Kennedy and none other than the monocle himself, Reginald Hargreaves. Now, what happened there is that Hargreaves stepped in to deal with a nuclear crisis. He managed to convince the president to give him access to some nuclear warheads, which were then detonated by Hazel and Cha-Cha following Hargreaves' death, so, you know, not the best outcome. So, of course, Five had to step in and do what he does best, assassinations. This time with the help of Allison, who went undercover disguised as Jackie Kennedy, leading to one of the most intimidating uses of her rumor powers imaginable. Woof. Now, is this going to be the plot of the second season? Is this the role that Hargreaves is going to play moving forward? Not sure, though if I were a betting man, I would say it'll probably be something similar to this, as the setup they've done so far just makes it way too likely. Either way, it's going to be interesting to see what the future has in store for the world's worst dad.